What's up, guys? It's going to be a very fast video on setting up an NPC so that we can move on and do cooler things with our game. With this video I'm going to release a new character model. He's very similar to the first one, he just has a different style. I call him the Fighter. He has the same animations, but they do look a lot better because I added a few things to him that will help out with the animation. So I'm probably going to release it in a folder looking like this. You just want to go ahead and probably make a new folder in your project, name it to something, open it up, and import it into that folder. I can do so just by dragging it into my project, and you're going to get something that looks exactly like this. So what we're going to do is go to Model, set the scale factor to 1, and generate colliders. If you remember from the first video, we did pretty much the exact same thing. So we'll go to Rig and set it to Legacy, Apply. There's not much of a difference from setting up a player and an NPC, but there are a few differences. So you're going to want to go ahead and drag the diffuse map over to the shader, and we're done there. We can drag it out to our scene, move him to the middle, create an empty game object, put it in the same spot, and make our character a child of that game object. We can now move that game object out of the middle and rename it to anything you like. I'm going to name it Fighter NPC. So what we're going to want to do first is add a component. So go to plyGame, character, NPC, and NPC controller. Add component, plyGame, character, NPC movement, and first we will start off with simple move. So now we need a way to animate him, so go to plyGame, character, animation, and legacy animation controller. Real fast, I'm going to set this up. Hopefully you know how to do this already. I do have animations for these left and rights, but it's really not that important, so just go ahead and click some of these. And we're good with the animation controller. We can go to our character controller and fix that because it is clearly below him, so we're just going to move that up to 1 and set the radius down to 0.3. So now that we have that set up, it really should move around when we set this to wander, and you can see the path of which he's going to wander. Right now, if it lands on any one of these points, he's going to fall off our map. So what we can do is mess around with the wander radius, and that's going to lower the amount of room that he can walk on. The other option on area is rectangular, and you can just set your X size up and your Y size up to whatever you guys would like, and also the angle rotates that box there. So you can set it up to whatever you want. You would use this, maybe say he's walking on a stage and you don't want him falling off, so you just set it to the exact dimensions of the stage. So for now I'm going to put this back on circular, and we have to lower this down to something like that. And we should be good. He should be walking around using the animations that we told him to use. And he is. Now perhaps the movement speed is too high, so we can just go ahead and lower that down right here to 2. But we are good for now. Now I'm going to show you another movement option, is the Pro Move, and what you're going to have to do is you're going to have a nav mesh baked out. It's actually quite simple. All you're going to have to do is go to every object that is not going to move, so you don't want your player, or actually you do want your player to walk around or try to avoid it. How you do that is you just go to your game objects and you check static here, but if they are all under one parent object, you can hit static and it's going to ask you if you want to change all the children, and you would hit yes. Now we need a way to test to see that he is actually walking around, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a couple walls. Just going to duplicate that and rotate it, perhaps move it like so, check to see that they are on static. Now you're going to want to go to Window, Navigation. A menu like this should pop up. Just go over here to the Bake tab. These are the settings that you're going to mess around with if they are not to your liking when you first bake it out. What you would do is go down here and hit Bake. As we can see, it looks pretty good, except for right here. He's going to try to walk on top of that. We don't want that. We can just set the height down to 1 and that would probably fix it, and yes, it did fix it. So, let's move that a little so we can watch him going in there. Yeah, and that should be good. So what we're going to want to do is go to our NPC and remove this simple move and add a pro move. Just like that. We hit play and everything should work. You see, he is going to... Actually, what you need to do on the nav mesh agent when you're going to use the NPC pro move, you want to set the turn speed to something really high, like 700. And now let's try that again. Otherwise, it'll just look like he's not turning. And we don't want that. So, yeah, now we can see that he is going to avoid these obstacles by walking in the middle there. When he was trying to get to a point right there, with the simple move, he would just try to take the shortest route and he would get stuck on here, and that's not what we would want, but this seems to be working fairly well. So that is it for setting up an NPC, and now we can do even cooler things with our NPCs and our players. So thank you guys for watching.